A mother of many children sheltered a vagrant during a storm who was holding a wet carpet. On a stormy night, a stranger knocks on Maria's door, carrying a baby and a mysterious past. In the small village, where hope and love flourish, Maria and her children face unexpected challenges. The arrival of Jose transforms their lives, revealing secrets that will change everything. It was a dark and stormy night in a small village on the outskirts of the city. Maria, a devoted and loving mother, lived there with her 3 children, Lucas, 10 years old, Clara, 8, and little Joao, 5. While the storm howled outside, Maria ensured that everyone was safe and warm inside the house. The wind blew fiercely, rattling the windows and causing the wooden house to groan. Lucas, always curious, peered out the window, watching the deserted streets being washed by the torrential rain. Clara held her little brother's hand tightly, trying to calm him with her presence. "It's okay, Joao. Mommy's here," Clara whispered reassuringly. Suddenly, a loud and insistent sound echoed through the house. It was the doorbell. Maria frowned in surprise. Who could be outside on a night like that? With a mix of caution and concern, she walked to the door and opened it slowly. There, standing in the rain, was a drenched man holding a large rolled-up and completely soaked carpet. His eyes expressed deep desperation, and his figure exuded exhaustion. Maria felt a pang in her heart at the sight of the stranger's state. "Please come in. You're going to catch pneumonia," Maria said, stepping aside and inviting the man in. The man hesitantly entered, dripping water onto the wooden floor. He clutched the carpet as if his life depended on it. Maria noticed that the carpet was strangely bulky and realized that there was something inside. "My name is Maria. And you? What's your name?" she asked, trying to sound as welcoming as possible. My name is Jose," the man replied with a trembling voice. Maria gestured for him to sit on the sofa. "You look exhausted. Can I get you a towel?" Jose nodded gratefully as he tried to unroll the wet carpet. As he did so, Maria noticed something that left her speechless. Inside the carpet was a makeshift cradle, and in it, a sleeping baby. "My God!" Maria exclaimed. "Where did this baby come from?" Jose looked at her with teary eyes. I found him in the forest. He was alone, crying, and I couldn't leave him there. I brought him to the village hoping to find help." Maria felt a whirlwind of emotions. She knew she had to help, but at the same time, the baby's presence raised many questions. Who were the parents? What had happened? "Let's get you both warm. I'll fetch some dry clothes and prepare something to eat." "Lucas, Clara, can you help me?" Maria said, trying to stay calm. As Maria and the children hurried to take care of Jose and the baby, the storm outside continued to roar. Inside the small house, however, a sense of humanity and compassion began to bloom. Maria knew that this would be only the beginning of a complex and emotional story, but she was determined to face whatever came with courage and love. With Jose and the baby now under her roof, Maria prepared to face the challenges that would arise. She didn't know it yet, but that stormy night would bring not only difficulties but also surprising revelations and the chance for a new beginning for everyone. In the days following the storm, Maria divided her time between caring for her children and the newborn baby while trying to help Jose recover. The household routine, already hectic with 3 children, became even more challenging with an extra baby and an unexpected guest. Jose, though grateful for the shelter, felt like a burden to Maria. He tried to help wherever he could, doing small chores around the house and caring for the baby whenever possible. During one of those mornings, while feeding the baby, Jose began to share his story with Maria. "I wasn't always like this," he began in a low voice. "Before everything fell apart, I was a manager at a car dealership. I had a comfortable life with my wife, Anna, and our daughter, Sophia." Maria listened attentively as she prepared breakfast for the children. "What happened?" she asked, feeling the pain in Jose's words. "It was an accident," he said, his eyes fixed on the baby. "A drunk driver crashed into their car. I lost them both that day. My life collapsed. With no will to live, I ended up losing my job, my house, everything. After that, I was imprisoned for a crime I didn't commit, accused of theft at the store where I work. I spent years in prison before I could prove my innocence. Maria felt a lump in her throat. Jose's story was painful, and she could see the impact these events had on him. I'm so sorry, Jose. I can't imagine the pain you must have felt. Thank you, Maria. I found this baby in the forest while wandering aimlessly. I don't know why, but I felt like I had to protect him. Maybe it's a way to find redemption, somehow. As Jose told his story, the children watched curiously. Lucas, the oldest, seemed particularly interested. Are you going to stay here with us now? He asked, with a child's sincerity. Jose smiled for the first time in days. That depends on your mother, he replied, looking at Maria. Maria reflected for a moment. The presence of Jose and the baby had changed the dynamics of her home, but it had also brought a new sense of purpose and compassion. You can stay as long as you need, Jose. We'll face this together. The days passed, and a new routine was established. Jose helped with the children, and Maria busied herself with finding answers about the baby's origin. She visited the local police station, made announcements, and searched for any information that might lead to the child's parents, but to no avail. One afternoon, while caring for the baby, Maria noticed something different. There was a small medallion hanging around the baby's neck. She opened it and found a photo of a young woman, smiling. Determined to discover more, Maria returned to the police station and showed the medallion to the officers, hoping to find a clue. Meanwhile, the relationship between Maria and Jose grew stronger. The children began to see Jose as part of the family, and he felt increasingly welcomed. The storm, which initially brought fear and uncertainty, now seemed to have been a catalyst for a new phase in their lives. However, the calm didn't last long. One afternoon, while everyone was at home, a loud knock on the door interrupted the peace. Maria opened the door and was met by two police officers. Her heart raced. "Good afternoon, ma'am. We're here to take Mr. Jose into custody. There's a kidnapping charge against him," one of the officers said sternly. Maria was shocked. "Kidnapping? This must be a mistake." The officers entered and began questioning Jose. The baby, who was sleeping in the makeshift cradle, started crying at the commotion. Desperate to protect her family and clarify the situation, Maria tried to argue, but the officers were determined. Then, a familiar voice echoed through the room. "Wait, I know this man." A well-dressed man entered the house, his eyes fixed on Jose. "Jose? Is it really you?" Jose raised his head, incredulous. "Carlos? What are you doing here?" The man, Carlos, was an old friend of Jose, someone he had lost contact with years ago. "I'm the father of this baby. I need to explain everything," Carlos said, turning to the police officers and Maria, who looked confused. With the police officers attentive, Carlos began to reveal long-hidden truths. Carlos entered the house with an air of urgency, asking everyone to calm down. The police officers, though skeptical, allowed him to explain the situation. Jose, still confused, awaited the revelation with a tight heart. "Jose and I were great friends years ago," Carlos began. "We worked together at the car dealership. When he was arrested, I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't prove his innocence in time. I felt powerless, and life drove us apart. Recently, my wife and I had a big argument, and she ran away with our baby in a desperate act. I tried to find them, but to no avail." Maria looked at Carlos, absorbing every word. She remembered the medallion with the photo of the young woman. "So this baby, he's your son?" she asked, holding the baby in her arms. "Yes, he's my son, Daniel," Carlos replied, tears in his eyes. "I never wanted this to happen. I just want my family back." The police officers, noticing the sincerity in Carlos's voice and the evident connection between him and Jose, began to lower their guard. One of the officers approached Carlos. "We need to confirm your story, but if it's true, we'll do everything we can to reunite your family." Meanwhile, Jose was in shock. Finding Carlos and discovering the truth about the baby brought a mix of relief and pain. He looked at Maria and said, his voice trembling, "I never thought something like this would happen. I'm so sorry for bringing so much turmoil into your life." Maria smiled gently, placing her hand on Jose's shoulder. You did what you thought was right. You brought the baby to a safe place. That's the most important thing. The police officers decided to take Carlos and Jose to the station to clarify everything and complete the necessary procedures. Maria stayed at home with her children and the baby, anxiously awaiting news. The sound of the rain beating against the window was a constant reminder of the storm that had brought them together. Hours later, Carlos returned with Jose. There was a clear sense of relief on their faces. Everything has been cleared up, Carlos said. The police have already contacted my wife. She's willing to resolve things peacefully. Jose took a deep breath, feeling an enormous weight lifted from his shoulders. He knew that, despite the hardships, he had found a new chance to start over. Carlos, grateful, promised to help Jose rebuild his life, starting with a job offer at his new company. Maria, observing the scene, felt a wave of hope. This house will always be open to you, Jose. And you too, Carlos. We're a family now, in a way. In the days that followed, the small house in the village became a place of union and recovery. Carlos brought his wife, Ana, back, and together, they worked to rebuild their relationship and raise their son, Daniel. Jose found a new purpose, helping Maria with the children and accepting Carlos's job offer. The storm that once brought fear and uncertainty now seemed distant. In its place, there was a new beginning full of promises and opportunities. Maria, Jose, Carlos, and their families learned that, even in the most difficult situations, love and compassion could prevail. But the story was far from over. A new phase was beginning, bringing with it challenges and joys that would test the strength and unity of them all. With the storm and the events that followed still fresh in everyone's memory, life began to return to a normal rhythm. Carlos and his wife, Ana, worked hard to rebuild their relationship, now strengthened by the adversity they had faced. Jose, in turn, was determined to make the most of the second chance he had been given. At Maria's house, Jose's presence became a comforting constant. He helped with daily chores, took the children to school, and started getting more involved in the local community. Gradually, the village came to know Jose's true story, and he began to be seen with respect and admiration. One day, while Jose and Maria were preparing dinner, Jose decided to share a desire he had long held in his heart. Maria, since I lost my family, I felt like I would never have a real home again. But here with you and the children, I feel something different. I feel like I can finally start over. Maria looked at Jose, feeling the sincerity in his words. We all deserve a second chance, Jose, and you've brought so much to our lives. I'm grateful to have you here. The days passed, and the emotional scars began to heal. But life, as always, brought new challenges. One afternoon, while Maria was at the market, she received an urgent call from Clara's school. Clara had had an accident during recess and was being taken to the hospital. Maria rushed to the hospital, her heart tight with worry. Jose, upon hearing the news, didn't hesitate and went there immediately. Upon arriving at the hospital, they found Clara in the emergency room, looking scared but relieved to see her mother and Jose. What happened, sweetheart? Maria asked, trying to hide her concern. I fell off the slide, Mommy. But I'm okay, Clara replied with a shy smile. The doctor explained that Clara had only a few scratches and a broken arm. Nothing serious, but she would need a cast and a few weeks of recovery. Maria felt a wave of relief mixed with gratitude that it wasn't something more serious. In the following days, Clara was treated like a little princess in recovery. Jose made sure to distract the girl with funny stories and board games, while Lucas and Joao helped however they could. The family grew even closer, showing that together they could overcome any adversity. However, one evening, while Jose was watching the children, Maria was surprised by an unexpected visitor. It was Ana, Carlos's wife. Her eyes were swollen from crying, and there was an expression of despair on her face. Ana, what happened? Maria asked, concerned. Ana hesitated for a moment before responding. Maria, I need to confess something. I was responsible for everything. I'm the one who ran away with Daniel that night. I was desperate, afraid of losing Carlos and our son. But seeing him now, after everything we've been through, I realize how wrong I was. I don't know what to do. Maria felt Anna's pain as if it were her own. We all make mistakes, Anna. The important thing is that you recognized it and are willing to fix things. Let's work this out together. Anna nodded, tears streaming down her face. That night, Maria, Jose, and Anna talked for hours, planning the best way to resolve the situation and ensure that Carlos and Daniel could have a happy and safe future. The entire village learned of Anna's confession, but instead of judging her, the community offered support. They understood that desperation could lead to impulsive actions, and they were willing to help Carlos's family rebuild. Gradually, life got back on track. Clara fully recovered from the accident, and Jose, now a beloved member of the community, decided to open a small car repair business with Carlos's help. Maria, seeing happiness and stability return to her home, felt immensely grateful. But as the scars of the storm began to fade, new winds of change were on the horizon. The love and redemption story of Maria and Jose was just beginning, and with their combined strength, they were ready to face any challenge life might throw their way. With Clara recovered and life in the village returning to normal, Jose and Carlos started their car repair business. The shop, named Redemption Automotive, quickly became a reference point in the community. Jose's skill and the trust Carlos inspired in customers made the business thrive rapidly. Meanwhile, at Maria's house, a harmonious routine was established. Jose, now a constant and loving presence, helped with household chores and raising the children. Lucas, Clara, and Joao adored him, and Maria felt that her family was finally complete. One afternoon, while Jose was at the shop, Carlos arrived with a serious and hopeful expression. "Jose, there's something I need to tell you," he said, pulling up a chair next to Jose. "Of course, Carlos. What's going on?" Jose asked, concerned. "I talked to Anna, and we've made an important decision. We want you and Maria to be Daniel's godparents. You both mean so much to us, and we want you to be a part of his life in an official way." Jose was moved. Being Daniel's godfather was an honor he had never imagined receiving. "That means a lot to me, Carlos. I'm deeply grateful." Carlos smiled. "You deserve it, Jose. You and Maria are the family we found in adversity." As the months passed, life in the village continued to flourish. Maria and Jose grew closer and closer, and the chemistry between them was evident to everyone around. The children, noticing the special connection between the two, began asking innocent questions. "Mommy, are you and Uncle Jose going to get married?" Joao asked with the innocence of his 5 years. Maria smiled, feeling her cheeks flush. "We'll see, dear. We'll see." The sunny days of summer brought a sense of renewal and new beginnings. Jose, realizing that his love for Maria had grown immensely, decided to take action. He planned a special dinner, inviting Maria to a date in the garden of the house. That night, under a starry sky, Jose set up a table decorated with candles and flowers. The children, excited, helped set everything up, eager to see what would happen. When Maria stepped out of the house and saw the surprise, her eyes filled with tears. "Jose, this is beautiful," she exclaimed, moved. Jose smiled, nervous but determined. He took Maria's hands and looked deeply into her eyes. "Maria, from the moment you took me in during that storm, my life changed. You and your children gave me a new reason to live, and I can't imagine my life without you. Will you marry me and officially become a family?" Maria, with tears of happiness streaming down her face, answered without hesitation. "Yes, Jose. I want to spend the rest of my life by your side." The children, who had been peeking from the window, ran outside, celebrating and hugging the couple. It was a moment of pure joy and love, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. The news of the engagement quickly spread through the village and the community, which already had a special affection for Maria and Jose, celebrated with enthusiasm. Everyone knew that this union was a testament to the power of love, redemption, and the ability to overcome adversity. In the following months, preparations for the wedding were in full swing. Carlos and Anna were deeply involved, offering all the necessary support. The entire village was eager for the big day, which promised to be an unforgettable celebration. Meanwhile, Jose and Carlos's business continued to prosper, and Maria, now more confident than ever, began to get involved in community activities, helping other families in need. Her home, which was once just a refuge during the storm, became a symbol of hope and renewal. Finally, the wedding day arrived. The ceremony, held in the garden of Maria's house, was filled with friends, family, and neighbors. Under an arch of flowers, with the children by their side, Maria and Jose exchanged emotional vows, promising love and mutual support for the rest of their lives. As the ceremony ended and the newlyweds shared their first kiss as husband and wife, a rainbow appeared in the sky, like a sign of blessing and the promise of even brighter days ahead. The village celebrated with music, dancing, and much joy, feeling part of the journey of redemption and love that had united two lost souls into a beautiful family. The story of Maria and Jose was a constant reminder that, even in the darkest storms, the light of love and compassion can always shine, bringing hope and new beginnings to all who believe. The first few months of marriage were a period of adjustment and joy for Maria and Jose. The daily routine, once marked by struggle and survival, was now filled with laughter, love, and precious family moments. The children, Lucas, Clara, and Joao, seemed to flourish even more under Jose's care and attention, who dedicated himself to them as if they were his own. One day, while strolling through the village, Maria and Jose were surprised by a small crowd gathered in the central square. Curious, they approached and discovered that it was a community event organized by Carlos and Ana, aimed at celebrating the solidarity and unity the village had shown during and after the storm. "Welcome, friends," Carlos announced upon seeing Maria and Jose. "Today, we want to celebrate the strength of our community and the importance of standing together in difficult times. And there's no better example of this than the story of Maria and Jose." The crowd applauded warmly, and Maria felt a wave of gratitude. She knew that without the support of their neighbors and friends, their journey would have been much harder. As the event continued, with music, food, and games for the children, Jose approached Maria and hugged her lovingly. "You've brought so much to my life, Maria. I can't even express how grateful I am to have found you." Maria smiled, her eyes shining with emotion. "And you, Jose, have brought light and hope to our lives. Together, we can face anything." As time passed, life in the village continued to transform. Jose and Carlos's business grew, and they began employing other villagers, offering job opportunities and learning experiences for the community's youth. Maria, on the other hand, dedicated herself to social projects, helping families in vulnerable situations and providing emotional support to those in need. One day, while Maria and Jose were at home, they received an unexpected visitor. It was a middle-aged woman with a tired but determined look. "I'm sorry for the intrusion," she said, her voice trembling. "My name is Helena. I heard about the help you offer and I need help finding my son." Maria and Jose exchanged glances, feeling the pain and urgency in Helena's words. "Please come in," Maria said, leading the woman to the living room. "Tell us your story." Helena explained that her son, Miguel, had disappeared months ago. She had tried everything to find him, but without success. Desperate, she was drawn to the village by the reputation of solidarity and community support. "We'll help you find him," Jose promised. "We'll use all the resources and contacts we have." The search for Miguel brought the community even closer. Everyone mobilized, spreading posters, asking for information, and using social media to broaden the reach of the search. The children, excited, helped distribute the posters and organize the searches. After weeks of effort, a lead finally emerged. Miguel was found in a nearby town, living in a shelter for young people. Helena, upon reuniting with her son, couldn't hold back tears of relief and gratitude. "Thank you, Maria, Jose, and all of you," she said, moved. "Without your help, I don't know what would have happened." This event further strengthened the bonds of the community and the village's reputation as a place of welcome and hope. Maria and Jose, seeing the positive impact of their actions, felt more motivated than ever to continue helping those in need. As the years passed, Maria and Jose's home became a true haven of love and compassion. The children grew up following the examples of courage and solidarity they had learned from their parents. Lucas, inspired by José's work, decided to study mechanical engineering. Clara, with her compassionate heart, pursued a career in nursing. And João, the youngest, developed a talent for music, bringing joy to everyone around him with his songs. Maria and José grew old together, surrounded by the love of their family and the community they had helped build. On sunny days, they would sit in the garden, reminiscing about the challenges they had overcome and the joys they had shared. "Do you think we made a difference?" Maria asked, holding José's hand. "Without a doubt, Maria. You did more than make a difference. You changed lives, including mine," José replied with a tender smile. And so, the story of Maria and José, which began with a storm, became an eternal example of love, redemption, and the invincible power of human compassion. The small house in the village, which was once a refuge amid chaos, now shone as a beacon of hope for all who passed by, reminding them that even in the worst storms, there is always the possibility of a new beginning.